All right, so we're back here on another special Couch Coach Live. We're back. We took a bye week last week, but we are back here in Couch Coach Live. What's going on, JB?
Not much was going on with you, man.
Nothing much, man. Just working, chilling, watching, enjoying this NFL season, college football season. It's the fall and even a
Yeah,
little bit, and also some spring of football. So definitely football's in the air,
yeah,
and
nice to
yeah.
see. Nice to see. Like the stadiums are back, and there's like
Mhm.
some resemblance of like normalcy this
I,
time around.
right. It felt weird. Like, yeah, because I went to a game. I went to the second game, and it was like, yeah, it felt good. Even though I went to the state championship, but it wasn't as many people as it is currently. It was, more of a skeletal type of situation in May when I went. But when I went, 2 weeks ago, it was, oh man, it was nice. Like it felt like old times again. It felt like 2019.
Mhm.
So yeah, definitely, yeah. And like you said, just to kind of get back to normalcy, having fans in the stands and just being normal. Just I mean,
Mhm.
it's been a very interesting a year and some change, but yeah, definitely having some semblance to normalcy. I put it that way. But yep. So we gotta talk about this Monday Night Football game before we just dive into the Monday Night Football game. And obviously, Green Bay Packers did get back on the execute their first win of the season, beating the Detroit Lions. Your thoughts on
Mhm.
the game last night?
I mean, if you would have told me that the Lions would have had the lead at the first half, I would have been a bit surprised. But I think the game played out like kind of how we all expected it to. Green Bay to win by double digits.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they definitely looked a lot better this game around. Aaron Rodgers wasn't under the same amount of duress, and they were able to do some things this time around that they weren't able to do against the Saints. And it's just kind of crazy, man. As good as the Saints look in the first week, they look bad in the second
Yeah.
week, and vice versa with Green Bay. As bad as they looked much better. And I think a lot of that has to do with. I think one of the things that's really interesting. I think that this football season is going to be a bit different than other football seasons. I think it's going to be very similar to last year. I think a lot of teams are going to be using the first month of the season as kind of an extended preseason
Yep.
because a lot of starters and stuff didn't really play in the preseason. So um, I, I think that we really can't make any like rash judgments on team. I think that we're really not going to see what a team really is like until probably the middle of October, the end of October.
Yeah, and like you said, yeah, because you look at most of the majority of the teams didn't start their starters, and then because Adam, we will talk about in the preseason. What would be your dress rehearsal? We only have a 3 game preseason, like
Hmm.
because a part of you like, okay, is it week 2 or is it week 3? And you can tell like teams were doing it differently versus in the previous years where you had situations where everybody kind of uniformly like, all right, game 3 is our dress rehearsal. Yeah,
Hmm.
some that looked at their dress rehearsal as game 2, some had
Hmm.
theirs as a final game. So this is one of the things, like you said, it kind of threw everybody off for a loop. And like you said, and you just look at, even though I know this sounds kind of crazy, even though we sitting here just in week 2, but you look at a lot of like 1-1 teams, as far as that we deem as far as you know contenders per se. But you just
Hmm.
look at it, and it just simple fact of, like you said, it's gonna be a wide open season, and like you said, taking the accounts of everything at this point is kind of like it's too early to kind of make those type of calls. But like you said, you really ain't gonna really see these teams kind of get into a groove until maybe like 4 or 5 games into the season, because like you said, it takes work regardless. Even if you have a unit that's been together for, it's you know
Yeah.
it's still gonna have to happen. You still gotta have that type of chemistry and that kind of that momentum going forward. But yeah, um, I mean, the game pretty much is kind of almost what I kind of thought it was going to be. I mean, I didn't think
Hmm.
Detroit was going to hang in that long, but
Yeah.
Detroit did their thing. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he just had another normal day
Yeah.
at the office to me, so it was
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also think that there were
Mhm.
some things that kind of we kind of already had known.
Yeah.
I think that it kind of last night kind of proved that Jared Goff, he's not a bad weather kind of quarterback. And I mean, like, you know, like he played good in the first half, but when the weather kind of changed, like you figure they scored 17 points in the first half, but in the second half, they weren't really able to do anything. There were always have been questions about, you know, he's a Southern California kid. Can he play? Can he play in cold weather and can he play in bad weather? And I mean, you know, you look at it like even when the Rams made the Super Bowl, he played really bad football in weather that was under 40 degrees. And, you know, in that division, if they're ever going to make the playoffs, if he's their guy, he's going to have to improve that because, you know, you have to play Green Bay outside. You're going to have to play the Bears outside, and you might be playing those teams, you know, in November or December when the elements are not good outside. And another thing that kind of I kind of think we do. There are some issues in the Packers secondary. I think that Kevin King is the guy that teams are always going to attack. And, you know, I didn't really realize how slow he was until last year in the championship game when he got torched a couple of times in the championship game. But like, he's the kind of guy that I think teams are going to continue to attack because their other cornerback didn't play last game, right? What's the other guy? The one that's good. The one that's really good. I can't think of his name right now.
It's all with a T.
Yeah, but
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, Kevin King is a problem. And don't get me wrong, man. I don't think he's horrible or anything like that. But like playing him on the outside, I mean, if you have a receiver with some speed, he can get cooked. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and like you said, and Green, because I think once the rain really started picking up, that's when like Detroit offense just went, blank.
It was non-existent. It was non-existent, man. And like, you know, you kind of got that feeling when Green Bay took the 2-score lead, you kind of had a feeling that it was over with. And yeah, once they got the lead 35-17, it was a wrap. So
and this is, it's one of those things where it's just like, I mean, like you said, it's Detroit. Like I said, Detroit. It's gonna be a long season, long season of just biting kneecaps. But hey, and like you said, and it was just another random day with Green Bay. I really like. And a lot of people are saying they back. I'm like, no, I'm gonna wait till like they play like San Francisco next week. And that's
I think that's gonna be it. And I think that there are some really intriguing games next week. I think that San Francisco Green Bay is gonna be intriguing because when San Francisco has kind of been a house of horrors for Green Bay during the Mike Shanahan era, during the Kyle Shanahan era. And the other game I'm looking at is the LA Tampa game. I think that actually could be a preview of the NFC Championship game.
And and that's my thing. I'm gonna wait for Green Bay with that situation. Now, if they can pull off that victory in Santa Clara on Sunday night, then I can look at, okay, Green Bay might get a little bit of semblance. But at this point, it's a divisional opponent that they've owned. I think this is their 27th win out of the last 30 times that they've played Detroit at home. So I don't really take too much stock in it. But the Monday night situation was good. And then obviously now I've been hooked to Eli and Peyton, their broadcast every Monday now. Like I don't think I'm ever gonna go back to Greasy, Steve, and my boy Louis Riddick. I don't know. I might do it one of these days, but I like what they do. It makes it a little bit more interesting to me, I think, in my personal opinion, as far as it's just, and I know it feels like more of an event now. I think when I hear Peyton and Eli, and they, obviously they bring guests in and what have you, and it's interesting though. It's almost it's not like a party vibe, but it just feels like it's just like you just kicking it with your friends, you talking football, versus versus the regular commentary that you get from those three guys. And
the ESPN commentary team has been kind of weak for a while now. Like for me, like Sunday is where it's at. Like,
Yeah.
Troy Aikman, Joe Buck, and then, of course you have Jim Nantz and Tony Romo on CBS. So I mean, the ESPN commentary team is just not very good. I mean, they did get rid of Booker McFarland and put him more on the pre-show, which I thought was good, but it's just not good, man. Even Sunday Night Football commentary team, Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth, though it's better.
Yeah.
It's just better. Yeah. Like ESPN needs to step up their game, man.
And then you even got Mike Tirico pitch hitting, so it's just like oof, so that's like you said, but I think that was their kind of way of kind of stepping up their game, because I think all those guys are pretty much taken for it. And we look at ESPN and just everything that's going on internally in that company, where it's like everybody knows, as far as. Because everybody who's kind of been something at ESPN has moved on and done bigger things. And you just look at it from a standpoint, can ESPN kind of recreate that mojo that they used to have, which I don't think is going to happen at this point. And the only thing is, I think if they get the Super Bowl, then I think that's when they're going to ante up and get somebody. And they probably might put Peyton in the booth. I would not be surprised. I think if it's a point, if you see the success of what they do on ESPN2, then if they as far as this new as far as the network deals, and just say, for instance, if ESPN throws money at them, say, hey, we want to host Super Bowl. I mean, we want to broadcast Super Bowl. That's what's going to. I think that's going to be the only way. I think that's really going to be spiced up, where they can be in that rotation. But like you said. I mean, play by play, like in the primetime games, like you said, and you can't beat them. And then, like you said, the Fox team and also and the CBS team, especially in those primetime games. And then obviously with the Thursday night game with your boy Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, But yeah, he called a fantastic game on last Thursday night, I might add. but yeah, man. So let's put a bow on week 2 of the NFL season. So we're gonna do the good, bad, and the ugly. So I'm gonna go with you first. What is your good for week 2 of the NFL season?
I think the Ravens getting over the hump and beating. I think any team that was 0-1 and found the way to win, I think that you have to say is good. Even though you have the extra game, you don't want to start off the season 0-2. So, I mean, like, you look at the Ravens coming back and winning. You look at the Titans. So, I mean, what a gutsy performance by them. They were down, double digits. It felt like they were down double digits for a good portion of the second half for them to come back and win the game overtime. Dallas winning the game and San Diego missing 4 starters. That's good. I think that any of the teams that were, on 1 that found the way to win to avoid going on 2, that you have to say that's good. Good for the Raiders too. The Raiders 2-0. If you would have looked at the schedule beginning of the year, I think most people would have had the Raiders starting off 0-2, and they've gotten off to a good start. So I would say that that's good. The Rams, the marriage between Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay looks like it's a match made in heaven. They won a tough road game, 27-24. So I mean, there was a lot of good. And Taylor Heineke doing his thing on Thursday Night Football, so the Redskins can start off 0-2. There was a lot of good. There was a lot of good in week 2.
Yeah. As obviously the Baltimore Ravens, I think that Lamar Jackson 0-3 versus Patrick Mahomes going into that matchup and actually winning that game, even though we talk about it's a regular season game, but those are the type of moments that set the tone going forward for this team. This is such a confidence booster for them, because you look at even with the rash of injuries from the running back position, and you got to think to yourself like, God, we pulled off a victory like this, and even though Lamar had to run for 107 yards or whatever, but those type of situations where it's like, hey, in the trenches, we can do our thing. Even just imagine if they would have been, as far as you look at their running back room is pretty much depleted from injuries, and to get a win like that, and then just even at that gutsy fourth call, even though they made like it was Lamar was gonna say no. I'm like, no, of course he gonna. You ain't gonna get the ball back.
Should have, and I mean. And they should have, and they should have gone for it too. I mean, like Kansas City had proven that they couldn't stop the run the whole game. And I mean, like I trust them to get a yard and a half. Yeah.
And then think about it. You got a fumble in a key circumstance. You ain't giving that ball back and that was because that was going to end up happening, and that was going to end up happening. That's what Andy Reid was thinking. I'm just going to run this ball, kick this field goal, and get out of here with a victory. But the Allaire, Edwards-Allaire fumble that cost him that game. But yeah, I mean that was just great momentum. It's like exorcism weekend, and also to your point where Washington finally beat Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is 0-4. I mean, was 4-0 against us. Now it's funny. He had 8 wins in his career. And 4 of them was against the Washington football team. So you look at that. That's another one where you look at that. And then obviously, and Daniel Jones' history dates back to 7 games for me personally, because he beat us all 7 times at Duke. I mean, all 3 times at Duke, and then 4 in Washington. So that's another thing where you look at that. And then the Carolina Panthers. I think Carolina Panthers, what they did, like you said, we talked about it earlier, as far as just their defense and pretty much holding the Saints, offense. Because we looked at their offense last week with Jameis. Everybody was, and that's where the overreaction happens, where we looked at him like, oh, he's back. He just came back down to earth this week, but and that's a quality. Carolina had a quality opponent against, and that's another divisional team that they faced. So that's another one where you're 2-0, and then you think about it, you got you're playing 48 hours from now. You might wake up Friday morning, you might be 3-0.
3-0, yeah.
Potentially.
I think it's a strong possibility that they wake up Friday morning 3-0. So yeah, they've gotten off to, and they were kind of my surprise team. I was kind of high on them, this year with based off of what they did last year and them changing the quarterback up. So yeah, no, they've gotten off to a hot start. So yeah.
And another one I'm feeling too, the Denver Broncos. That's a team that I really was high on. I actually had them as a double-digit win team, and I did with the preview. And just the player Teddy Bridgewater, just willing them to win. That defense is stout. Like I said, they had a Washington football team in the West. But definitely. Those are pretty much the goods. What about the bad? What you got?
So injuries were the bad. I mean, Andy Dalton going down, Carson Wentz spraining both his ankles. There were a lot of injuries. Brandon Graham rupturing his Achilles. There were a lot of big injuries. Jarvis Landry spraining his MCL. I thought that were bad. And the other thing I'm going to say is bad too. I think time management at the end of these games was really bad. I mean, Greg Zerlin bailed out Mike McCarthy. I don't understand what you're doing. And even in the Minnesota game, the Minnesota Vikings actually let 40 seconds run off the clock, and they could even have gotten a closer field goal. So I think time management was really, really, really bad. And you just wonder what some of these teams are doing. I've always thought that at the end of the game, you want the field goal to be as close as possible, not as far away as possible. And another bad, I'm going to go to the Washington Giants game. Washington really should probably be 0-2 right now. I mean, that penalty, man, that's a horrible penalty. You're not going to block the kick right there. So why do you jump off sides? Why? I mean, there was a lot of just bad play, and the Chargers with the 10 penalties, I would say the injuries and the clock management were my bad from week 2.
Yeah, and I still got that Darius Slayton play in my head. Oh my god! I still think in my mind, I think he caught it. Like, it's
Oh
so
yeah, man. I mean, like
crazy.
that game was so weird. Like I picked
Oh my
Washington to win.
god!
I
It
picked
was
Washington to
scary.
win that game, but there were just so many like ebbs and flows where I was, oh man, Washington's gonna win this game. Then I'm like, no.
No.
When Heineke threw that interception, I was like, man, the Giants are gonna win this game, man. Yeah, man. It's just
And you know what's funny? I thought it was literally like deja vu because it was. I swear, I think it felt like it was in the same spot like last week when we lost to the Chargers, where Antonio Gibson fumbled,
mm-hmm,
and then that led to the Mike Williams touchdown and pretty much sealed the game.
mm-hmm.
After we held them, what's like 13 points up until that point,
Yeah.
and that one where it's like, oh my god, like it was like 2 minutes after go, we had the lead, and you're like, oh my god, this is. We're done. Like it's literally like deja vu all over again. But luckily we did hold them to a field goal, and then we end up getting the field goal and winning by that 1 point. But yeah, it don't get as scary as that. Yeah, that oh my god, that was so crazy. When I see that interception, I was like, oh god, we lost. I'm telling you. But then Dustin Hopkins, God bless his soul. Keep that field goal.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I knew when he missed the 48-yarder and I saw the side, I was like, Hopkins to me, like you kind of want Hopkins like 43 in is what you want him for a field goal. 45 out is kind of when you get to the situation where you don't know whether he's going to make it or not. But when it was 43, I was like, this man ain't gonna miss 2 in a row, man. But like, yeah, the Giants, the Giants, man. Yeah, man, that was bad.
Yeah, it was so crazy. That was it was good because it was on a Thursday night. I was able to enjoy the weekend, watch all the teams, watch the red zone, just relax this week, But the bad, our boy Tyrod Taylor. Oh my god, like
always getting hurt, man. He's got the worst luck in the world, man.
And then like week 2 once again, because the same situation happened last year with the punctured lung.
Yeah,
that's another thing too. It's just like I thought last year was crazy, and last year is ultimately crazy. Like how you get a shot, and then the shot was so deep that they literally puncture your lung.
Yeah.
So then this situation, because I was looking at it from the standpoint of because he was the bridge the gap guy for Baker. He comes into Cleveland. Actually had a pretty damn good game because I think he only had one. Because I think he was like,
he was 11 for 12, man. Yeah, he was playing good. He was playing good.
He was balling, and then now with that with the hamstring injury, and he's placed on IR, so who knows how long he's going to be. About a couple? He'll be out for a couple of weeks or so.
He'll be if they play tomorrow, he's got to miss a minimum of 3 games.
3 games, yeah. But and you just look at just that standpoint of just him, and he just has had like I said, the weirdest luck, He's like, to me, I think Tyrod is almost like the biggest what if, in so many circumstances. I think back to even the situation like with Buffalo when he led into the playoffs for the first time in this century. At that time. So, and then if he wouldn't have, I think then, and I remember that game against Jacksonville where he threw that interception like right at the end zone. And I'm like, that really turned the course for Jacksonville, and that prompted them pretty much to make their improbable run to almost beating the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. Yeah. But then you look at everything else that happened, the Cleveland situation, gets a concussion on a Thursday night game.
Mm-hmm.
Then Baker wins his game. That's the first time they won a game in like 2 years or something like that. I forgot. It was like so you knew from there like he's done. And then you looking at this situation, and then you look at last year with the situation in Los Angeles,
and
then that prompted Justin Herbert. So if you're Davis Mills, you got Davis Mills shit like.
Well, dude, man. Dude, yeah. I mean, you look at Baker. Baker was the #1 pick. Justin Herbert was happy. I don't think he has much to worry about Davis Mills. Hopefully he does, but that would be horrible for you to lose. You basically lost. You lost. This will be his third job he's lost because of injury. Yeah.
Right, and the thing about it, these aren't like season-ending injuries. These are pretty much injuries that happen, and then the backup became who they are. Like as far as like, because Baker became a cult like hero once he won that game against the Jets on a Thursday night. You couldn't tell Baker Mayfield nothing because obviously at that time they won their first game in 2 years. And Justin Herbert, look what he ended up having. The most touchdowns for a rookie in NFL history, and not saying that Davis Mills going to have that, but a part of you think to yourself like, and like you said, it could be Tyrod's luck where you're like, damn, like, it could be, but and knowing Houston and knowing how Houston operates, I would not be surprised if they do play Davis Mills just to see what he's all about all year, just for the hell of it. And like you said, and Tyrod will probably be back and healthy in a few weeks, and then he'll be on the bench. So but
poor guy, man.
Yeah, at least he got a ring. So the one thing about it, he got a ring.
He does.
One look at one thing, but I don't know. But that's my bad this week. Ugly. What you got?
Ooh, so ugly. The play of rookie QBs this week. They had a rough go at it. Trevor Lawrence, who I feel bad for. The Jacksonville line is horrible. I had higher hopes for Jacksonville, but then I saw their line and Jacksonville will be lucky to win 3 games this year. Their line is horrible, and I also kind of don't understand why they traded Gardner Minshew. Like, my thing is that I think that when you have a bad offensive line, I think that you have the veteran quarterback to kind of be the sacrificial lamb while the rookie just sits on the bench. But Zach Wilson had a bad go of it too, and Justin Field had a bad go of it too. Like, you look at that Chicago Cincinnati game, which was weird. We didn't really talk about it, but that Jacksonville, that Cincinnati Chicago game, if Cincinnati sacks Justin Fields because he broke out of that sack and got the first down, but if he gets sacked there, I think the Bears lose that game. I think the Bears lose that game because they were down 20, they were up 20-3, and Cincinnati had the momentum. If Cincinnati makes a sack there, they end up losing the game. And my last ugly too. I remember the last time I was on here, the guy was the Falcons fan, and he was kind of howling the Falcons. I don't see really any redeeming thing about that team at all. If Atlanta wins 5 games this year, I'll be shocked. They're a bad football team. They're not good. The 2 best things they have going for them are skill position players and Pitts and Calvin Ridley. They don't really have any redeeming qualities about them. So but ugly, I'm gonna say the Falcons, and then I'm gonna say the rookie QBs because Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, they had a rough go at it this week.
Yeah, and looking like the Falcons, you think to yourself how, and it's crazy because I think it's like the Philly situation where they got destroyed.
Didn't he say? Didn't the guy say? And this is what I didn't say anything because I didn't really know him, man. This is the first time. But he was saying, "Oh yeah, we go against the NFC East this year. I'm not afraid of anybody." And I was thinking, I was like, "Yeah," and watch y'all go on, and watch y'all go 0-4 against the NFC East too. Watch.
And the funny thing, they got the Giants this week, and then they got Washington the following week. So so we're gonna figure out,
I think the Giants beat them this week, and I think that you guys destroyed them next week too. And I also think people kind of overreacted to the Philly thing. Look, man, I don't think Philly's a bad team. I think people were kind of shitting on the NFC East last year. I don't think any of the teams in the NFC East are particularly bad. I saw a lot of people saying Philly was going to be 3-14 this year, which I didn't understand. I don't think there's a bad team I don't think there's a great team in the NFC East, but I don't think there's a bad team at all. Yeah. But the Falcons are horrible.
Of course, the NFC East is always everybody punching bag, but the funny thing about all that type of stuff, everybody want to be us. And that's the thing that people fail to realize. We draw eyes. I don't care what nobody say. You can say it talk all your trash. Oh, this is the worst conference, this and third. But you look at 7.9 people watch that game on Thursday night. That's the most.
Yeah.
And think about it. This is a cable. This was not on Fox. This wasn't on a regular. This was on a cable network that got 7.9 million views. So to me, somebody watching the NFC East. So every time y'all want to hate and talk about how we suck, but y'all watching us though. So don't get it right. And I guarantee you, when y'all play Philly, that's probably the highest rated Monday Night Football game this season.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah,
absolutely. Because guess what?
Yeah,
everybody love the NFCs. They love to hate us, like straight up. Like, so yeah, man. They trust me. They like to talk. Oh, everybody gonna suck. It's gonna be another one that's gonna be under 500. That's gonna make it. I'm like, all right, let it play out. Let it play out.
Yeah.
Y'all go see us. Y'all go see all four of us. We're gonna play it out. But like I think my ugly was Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, another one where he at one point when he had that when he threw his third interception, he had just the same amount of completions as interceptions.
Sure, yeah.
And but like to me, it was a rough day in the office. Obviously, you had Bill Belichick. What he does to rookie quarterbacks.
I think the first time you go against Bill Belichick, it's rough anyway, man. Yeah. So I mean, like he does a lot of just different stuff. So, and I don't think they did the kid any favors either. Like, Jamison Crowder was inactive, and then the receiver that they drafted from Baylor, I can't think of his name right now. He was inactive as well too. Who?
He's there for who?
Baylor, the one that they drafted last year.
Yeah. Because they, I forgot who you're talking about. I know you're talking about though. And that's another thing too, where he's gonna have an ebb and flows games. And I know guys who ready to call him a bust. I'm like, no, he's not a bust. He gonna be all right. You're gonna have those situations. You can't call a
quarterback a bust after 2 games. And I mean, I think people forget that Peyton Manning had a rough go of it his first month of the year of his career too, and he got better as the season went on, and the Colts ended up being the number 1 seed the next year in the AFC. So I mean, I cringe when people talk about stuff like that. So.
And like you said, a lot of it too, you just think about it. He doesn't have a lot of his weapons, and then also losing Mekhi Becton. So it's a lot of factors that go into that situation. So to me, I'm not like I still like Zach Wilson. Like he's gonna, y'all they make fun of him because he look like one of the kids that be in your little 6th grade algebra textbook. But hey, he the babyface assassin, and I'm gonna call him that. And I think he gonna be all right. I think he's gonna be all right too. I think that people are just kind of I mean, that happens.
Yeah.
And it's just one of the things where I just think, and like we said, we knew he was gonna take lumps. Like to me, I said he was gonna take lumps. And he's gonna, to me, I look at the Jets as kind of like that, like in the NBA, we call it the all league pass type of team, like a team that you're kind of excited to watch. And I think the Jets kind of fit into that bill for me. And I think today was just a bad day in the office. I mean, like you said, he played the Patriots. So I don't know how he's gonna fare this week against the Denver Broncos, but but it's just one of the things where I think he's gonna have the ebb and flows of the season. And like you said, Peyton Manning, because I think if my memory serves correct, he led the league in interceptions. I think, did he? Because I think he had 29 interceptions that year. I think.
Yeah. He had a rough go of it, man.
So he'll be fine, and then he'll definitely he gonna be all right. Don't worry about the babyface assassin. He gonna be good. Yeah, but and like you said, going back to the Falcons, that one, like you said, 32-6 against the Philadelphia Eagles. And then, obviously, the situation last week, I mean, it was going to happen. I mean, it's Tom Brady in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but yeah. Crazy. So, Let's do some week 3 NFL picks. We'll go around the horn with. We're actually gonna do all the picks since we got this going. So we got Carolina versus Houston. What you got?
Carolina. I think Carolina. I think Carolina wins the game. I mean, like, I know it's a short week and everything, but I think Carolina has just the better team, and I expect for them to give Mr. Mills some fits. I would actually say I expect for Carolina to win this game by like 10 points or more.
Okay. We got Washington at Buffalo. What you got?
Ooh, this is a tough one. I'm going to go Buffalo in this game. I think this game is going to be close. I don't like the way that Josh Allen has played thus far. I'm going to go Buffalo, but I think this is going to be one of these coin flip games. I think this game is going to be close. Actually, I don't know what the line is, but I would probably take Washington and the points for this one, for the line.
Oh, and I forgot to mention I got Carolina Thursday night. I got Washington winning. I don't even remember the last time we won. We won it in Buffalo. I have no ever idea, but I'll know that stat by Friday when we do the Watch the Football Guys podcast.
Okay.
But it's been a while. I know this. So we got the Chicago Bears going to Cleveland. Who you got?
Cleveland.
Okay. Yeah, it's even though your boy Justin Fields is going back to Ohio. Give me the Browns.
Yeah, give me the Brownies.
Yeah. Baltimore goes to Detroit. What you got?
Give me Baltimore, but I think that Goff will play better this week because he's going to be indoors. He won't have to deal with the elements. Give me Baltimore though. I think Baltimore wins. I think Baltimore wins the game, and I think that Detroit struggles to stop their running attack as well. So give me Baltimore.
Yeah, give me Baltimore. They'll watch the game, and then after the game, watch Helu. So we got the Colts versus the Tennessee Titans. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with Tennessee at the moment. If Carson Wentz can play, give me Indy, because I think if Carson Wentz plays, I think Indy is gonna be a very desperate team. Indy, I think you can make an argument that Indy and Minnesota are the best 0-2 teams out there, and they're better than some of the teams that are 1-1 at the moment. But at the moment, right now, not knowing who's going to play, give me Tennessee in the game.
Okay. All right. So we got the Los Angeles Superchargers going Midwest and going to Kansas City and Arrowhead. Who you got?
Now, this is going to be a good game. I know that Kansas City is probably going to end up I would say that Vegas will probably make them 5 or 6 point favorites. Give me Kansas City in a shootout. I think the Chargers haven't scored a lot this year. Like, they had 20 against Washington. They only had 17 against us. I look for their offense to get going. I think this is going to be a game. I wouldn't be surprised if this game is something like 34-31.
Yeah, give me the Kansas City Chiefs, especially Arrowhead. It's going to be rocking, and I just can't see the Kansas City Chiefs being 1-2. To end the month of in the month of September. Yeah. No, it's crazy. So let's see. We got the New Orleans Saints versus going to Foxborough. What you got?
Now, this is a good one. Now, I hate making picks like this early in the week because I don't know what's going to happen. If the Saints get their coaches back, give me New Orleans in this game. New Orleans' defense is not half bad, and I think that they could give Mac Jones fits. And just the way that Belichick's going to call the game, he's gonna kind of turn Mac into a game manager, and they don't really have the weapons on the outside as well. I'm gonna say, give me the Saints in a bounce back over New England.
Yeah, give me the Saints too, because I think I'm telling you, because I'm forecasting the future. Because next week is gonna be the big week. Next week is Tom Brady's homecoming, so you gotta think to yourself, they're gonna have a letdown. Either they're gonna beat Tampa Bay, or they're gonna or New Orleans. But I think they're gonna be. I think they're gonna beat Tampa Bay next week potentially. But stay tuned next week for that. But give me the Saints in this one. Yep. So we got the Atlanta Falcons versus the New York Giants.
And it's at New York, right?
Yep. Because guess what? Because the Carolina Tar Heels are coming to town. They're packing out that Mercedes-Benz Superdome against the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Okay, so give me the Giants in this game. I like I said before, I don't really see any redeeming qualities of this Falcons team. Now, I do think that the Giants defense, there are some matchups that like Atlanta can take advantage of, but I think the Giants win this game.
All right. Give me the New York Football Giants. It's just like you said, it don't look good in Atlanta at this point. But this would be a perfect bounce back if they were to if they have a bounce back. It would definitely be against this Giants team at this point. So we got the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Pittsburgh. What you got?
Pittsburgh is 1-1, but I think legitimately they should be 0-2. Roethlisberger has not looked good. Now, this is one of these games where I kind of don't want to pick it because I don't know what's going to happen because Roethlisberger has a oblique injury at a pectoral injury, my mistake, and Pittsburgh's got a lot of injuries. I don't know, man. The loser's going to go, and it's at Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
Give me Pittsburgh for the win, but I wouldn't bet any money on it. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to pick Pittsburgh, but I would not be surprised if Cincinnati doesn't win the game.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. Okay. All right. So call me crazy, but something about Cincinnati, they've been so tantalizingly close to winning these games. Call me crazy. Let me be the lone wolf. Well, we're all lone wolves because obviously we're not picking the same pick. But anyway, give me the Bengals. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they're gonna take it.
Like I mentioned, this if this was Thursday, I would probably be giving you a prediction, but I'm just gonna go with Pittsburgh for now. But I definitely do see Cincinnati. I see multiple ways of Cincinnati winning this game.
Okay. Yeah. Arizona at Jacksonville. What you got?
Arizona, give me the Cardinals in this game. Now it will be interesting to see if they have any. Remember those Arizona Cardinals team with Kurt Warner, how they would always have the East Coast Funks.
All of them. That's what I'm saying. Crazy.
So give me Arizona in the game. Give me Arizona in the game because I don't like the Jaguars' offensive line, man. I just think that Trevor Lawrence, I think Chandler Jones, I think Trevor Lawrence is gonna get to meet Chandler Jones up close and personal many times this weekend.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna know what's up with him. Arizona, I think this is gonna be another one where this is gonna be another Kyler Murray MVP showcase type of game for him. I just, like you said, and I think at this point, Jacksonville, it's so sad to think, even though it's just week 3 of the NFL season, we still got 14 weeks left. Your boy Urban Meyer, I think he got one heart. Half his heart in the East Coast, the other half is get ready to go to Southern California.
Yeah, dude, I could see it. I could see that happening.
And the funny thing about it, I would not blame him. I would not be like everybody else who killed Nick Saban, Bobby Petrino. I would not blame him if he was to go to USC because he'd have more clout going to USC than being an NFL team. And like we talked about it, if he can revamp USC, he'll be more popular. He'll be the most popular coach or in team in LA, and even the success of the Rams and the success of the Rams and the Chargers going forward, Urban Meyer still be the king of LA, regardless. So if I'm him, I'm sorry, Trevor. I'm sorry, Trevor. You'll be all right. You'll get a better coach. Hey, if I'm going to LA, like what is it? What they say? You know, Jacksonville a little humid. Like LA, it ain't humid deal. you know, so we'll definitely that'll be a development story as the season progresses. But yeah, give me Arizona. We got the New York Jets versus the Denver Broncos.
Broncos. I think Broncos win this game easily. I think that he had a hard time with Bill Belichick. I hate to see what Vic Fangio is going to what Vic Fangio has in store with him in Denver too, man. Denver. Ooh, I think this game. I think this game could get ugly. I could see them losing by 20 plus points. I could see the Jets losing this game by 20 plus points.
Yeah, man. This could be this is the de facto Carolina Bowl. You got Javonte Williams and Michael Carter squaring off in a running back duel. But give me the Washington football team in the West, the Denver Broncos. They'll move to 3-0. So, and to my chagrin, we did a simulated season. I did have Denver being 3-0, even though I don't think it's a stretch. But hey, it came to fruition. We got the tour list potentially Miami Dolphins headed to Las Vegas, the surging Las Vegas Raiders. Who you got?
Oh, well, the Raiders got their heart broken the last time. The Dolphins on that game. I believe it was after Christmas, and that pretty much ended their playoff hopes. And Ryan Fitzpatrick threw that dime towards the end of the game. I think the Raiders get their revenge in this game. I think I won't be surprised if give me the Raiders, and I also will say take the Raiders and the points. I would say. So.
Definitely the Raiders, and like you said, that was a beautiful play on a Saturday night in December. Ryan Fitzpatrick, get well, big fella. He threw that dime to Mac Hollins. What school did Mac Hollins go to? The University of North Carolina.
Knew that was going to come into the conversation some way, but yeah.
Absolutely. It is a must. It is a must. Any day of the week, you got to plug these UNC guys because, hey, we got dogs. People think about Alabama, these other Power 5 schools, but Carolina got some dogs in the NFL. But got to. Yeah. Give me the Raiders as well. I think, like you said, who knows? Jacoby Brissett and the Miami Dolphins potentially, and because even though we talk about Tua and that rib injury, but that's gonna linger. I can imagine seeing him if he does play if he plays Sunday. He won't be 100%. I mean, the ribs are the ribs. Like the ribs are a key function to your body, and it's going to linger. So, with that being said, we got the potential. I think, and like you said, me and you feels the same way. The NFC Championship preview. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers go to the luxurious SoFi Stadium. Who you got?
You know what? I'm gonna go LA in this game.
Okay.
I do think that I think this game is going to be a really good game. I just think that if you can get pressure from Brady up the middle, that's the key with beating him. That's something that Dallas wasn't able to get on him in that game. So I'm going to go with the Rams in that game. I think it's going to be a good one, man. I wouldn't be surprised, 27-24, 31-28. I expect for it to be a really good game. It might be a high-scoring game, but I don't think the defenses are going to, look too bad in the game. But, yeah, I'm taking the Rams in this game.
Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think Tampa Bay is going to win this game. This is another one where I think it's going to be like it's starting to become a collision course because we know Tom Brady going home next week. So I think the Rams not the Rams, but I think the Buccaneers going to take care of business in this matchup. And like you said, it's going to be beautiful. And then it's actually two homecomings because obviously Tom Brady's from San Mateo, so it's the Southern California kid. So he got two homecomings. So this is homecoming part one for him, and then homecoming, his professional homecoming on next week. But yeah. So Tom Brady comes back. The Sunshine Kid comes back at the age of 44 years old, and makes his and does his thing against his Rams team, and so Seattle at Minnesota.
Ooh, Seattle had a hard time stopping the run. Like, I have a hard time imagining that Minnesota starts 0-3. I'm going to take the Vikings in this game. I know probably the Vikings are probably going to be slight underdogs in the game, but I think that Seattle has some issues with their offensive line. They lost a couple of guys off the season. They lost a couple of guys actually on the game on Sunday, and I think Minnesota. I think Zimmer is a really good defensive coach. I think he's going to find a way to cook up some pressure to get to Russell Wilson. Now, I think that, like I mentioned before, the Colts and the Vikings are better than some of these teams that are 1-1. So I'm gonna say the Vikings are gonna win this game.
Yeah. I got the Minnesota, even though we got our boys out of Seattle, Russell Wilson, two-time Rich Dispatch Player of the Year, and then I got Dwayne Brown. Just give me Minnesota. I think they two heartbreaking losses back to back, and I think they'll get themselves together in this matchup as well. And shout out to Kirk Cousins. So he got let's see, we got Green Bay, San Francisco, a Sunday night affair. What you got?
San Francisco they've had some injuries with running back.
Yeah.
I think this game's a toss-up. I'm gonna go with the 49ers in this game. I think the 49ers are gonna continue to find a way to frustrate Rodgers, and like we mentioned before, San Francisco has been a house of horrors for Green Bay the last few years, actually. So
yeah, I think San Francisco could take care of business. That's another one where you just look at and they'll just show off their depth as far as and like you said, running back by committee. We all know and I talked about it last week 2 weeks ago on the show. Somebody even at my age, I could probably get 50 yards on that San Francisco offensive line. So with that being said, give me the 49ers.
Yeah.
And to round out week 3 of the NFL season, we have the Philadelphia Eagles versus your beloved Arlington football team, the Dallas Cowboys. Well, who you got, JB?
I'm gonna go with Dallas in this game. I think that they're at home. Philadelphia, is Jalen Hurts gonna be able to throw the ball down the field and consistently be able to score in the red zone? And I also think that Brandon Graham injury is going to end up looming large. And what's their tight end's name? He's out for the game as well, too.
For Philly?
The Eagles.
Ertz.
Yeah, Zach Ertz is out. Yeah, Graham is out. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys in the game. I think it won't be a blowout. I don't think. I think it'll be a close NFC East game. So
and that's why, like we said, it's gonna be the highest grossing as far as not grossing, but as far as viewership of Monday Night Football at this point. It's gonna do numbers. It's gonna definitely do numbers. But in this game, I got a tie. No. Dallas gonna take care of business. The Arlington football team will take care of business. I think they'll win this football game.
If you call a tie and it happens in a pick'em, I think you should get like double or triple the points.
Right. Like that should definitely be that would be ultimate if you were to get a tie. Like if somebody does that, that's wild. But
yeah,
that would be crazy. So we're giving out game balls this week. Who are you giving out this week's game ball to? Let me get that graphic.
I'm gonna give my game ball out. I'm gonna give my game ball to Aaron Jones. I thought that he played really well last night. glad that they found this necklace that had his father's ashes inside of it. So yeah, I'm glad that they found that. I mean, and you could tell he was playing with a heavy heart because his dad was coming to all of his games or whatever. And his dad unfortunately passed away in April. So I'm gonna give my game ball to Aaron Jones, even though that was some disrespectful shit he did against the Cowboys a few years ago. back paddled in the end zone and waving to Byron Jones. I didn't forget that, Aaron.
Yeah, man. That was cold. I ain't gonna lie about that. So this week I'm actually giving out 2 game balls. Actually, the one I'll talk about later, it just happened today. So this wasn't planned. This happened today. But my original game ball is gonna go to Trevion Henderson, the running back from Ohio State. He did his thing. 277 yards. 3 touchdowns. He actually broke Archie Griffin's freshman record for rushing yards. And another product of the 804. Definitely huge shout out to the 804. We some dogs in the 804. Definitely huge shout out to Trevion Henderson. He's doing his thing. And it trips me out because I think when they played Minnesota, Gus Johnson had the call and he talked about when Trevion had that run. He's like Trevion Henderson from Hopewell, Virginia. I was like, like okay. And then he talked about the state because he was like, yeah, he enrolled in January because of the season and because of Virginia, they had the spring season instead of a fall. And I was like, okay, you doing your homework. I like that. But what he's doing is just tremendous. And then my other game ball, I gotta give it to JJ Redick, man.
Great career, man.
I don't know. He did. He had a fantastic career, and it just trips me out. Like now, because you think about it, he's a class 2002 guy as well. So a part of you think to yourself like, God, this is it trips you out because like I don't know how I'm gonna be like when LeBron and Melo and they retire. And I'm like, oh wow, this is great. This is great. Like these are our peers. Like he's he's a guy, right? He's the guys that we actually grew up with, like as far as versus like Jordan and Kobe, which they were older than us, but we witnessed them even in high school. Obviously, when Cave Spring, JJ Redick was the #1 player in our state in our graduating year, and he beat George Wilf in the state championship. So it's like and then also had that great career in Duke, and then also in the NBA, and just was solid, man. And like he was the most hated, like dude. It still trips me out, like when he was at Duke and just everybody hated JJ Redick. It was so funny. It just tripped me out, especially like when y'all used to go to Maryland. Like, dude, like, they gave it to JJ.
They hate that he got, I'm hoping, dude. Part of me is like hoping that like maybe January, February, that Brooklyn gives him a call,
right?
And he can latch on to like Brooklyn because I know he wants to stay on the East Coast. So and I'm hoping that he can, do his thing and maybe have like one more run so he can get a championship. And what was kind of sad, with the Bucks winning the championship, like it was sad that Kyle Korver wasn't on that team, man. Kyle Korver wasn't on the team, man. So
I know. Sean, he's another 84, Club 84.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Ashton Kutcher. Yeah. God, that's great. Yep. Ashton Kutcher. Yep. 84. Yeah, he's 84 guy. Yeah, man. It's crazy. That's how I like, man. Club 84, man. It's starting to get a little, we getting it's getting real, bro.
It's starting to get a little light, man. Yeah, no, man. And and I felt some kind of way, man, when Kobe and Duncan all retired. Dude, man, that was tough, man. Because like we grew up watching them, Kobe and Kobe unfortunately passed away, man. And that's Kobe, Garnett, and Duncan all retired the same year, man.
Right, and you think about them; they were a part of our childhood.
Oh yeah.
Now you look at JJ and them; they are peers. Like we're all the same age. Like we talked about it. The only time I remember JJ Redick, I know they won a state championship the year we graduated because I remember they beat George Wilf. Because I remember George Wolf they were dogs.
Yeah.
And then and then I remember hearing about JJ Redick, like reading about him, but I didn't really, because you think about when we was in school, it ain't like what it is now where the information was bevy. Like you actually had to read. Like, I mean, like,
oh yeah, dude. And like the internet wasn't that advanced either, man. Now you can just type in Bronny James, and they have all this information about him and like scouting reports and stuff like that. No, you had to read back in the day, man.
And that's how I found out about LeBron James. A random trip to South Carolina. I was bored. I had to read a magazine. Now that I've stated myself, but these kids now, they got tablets, cell phones, computers. We had to read a magazine. A 6-hour trip.
Yeah. I mean, it's too bad we didn't have Deshaun. Deshaun would have gave us the whole scouting report.
yeah. But I tell you, man, it's a trip, man. It's like, you just look at the type of stuff, like you're saying, like, what's like LeBron? Like, it's gonna be weird. You think about, because if once Club 84 closes doors, I'm like, it might be a little. It's I don't know how I'm gonna react, but it's gonna be definitely a interesting one, especially Melo when he retires, and especially LeBron, because obviously LeBron, I remember reading about him in the 10th grade. In a Slam magazine on my way to South Carolina. So just imagine, you had to actually hear about these guys, and they won't really how it is now. Like you said, like Bronny James, you found out Bronny James, so it's just a matter of a finger, just a finger tap, and you can figure all the information about him versus, like you said, when we were coming up, it was a whole lot different. But man, definitely huge shout out to these two guys. Actually, JJ's from Virginia, so I guess you consider him a local product as well. So I had to shout out my local guys, and man. Definitely shout out to Trevion Henderson. Like I said, the 804, we got dogs. So we got dogs in the 804. So we got a breeding ground of 5-star athletes migrating in our great city of Richmond, Virginia, in the outskirts. So definitely, definitely great. So let's put a ball in this week's Couch Coach Live, and social media. What you got?
I'm only on Facebook. I haven't got Instagram yet. I promise the next time I come over here, I'll have an Instagram. I have an Instagram ready to roll. I have Instagram ready to roll. So next time.
Instagram. Having somewhat of a digital footprint, And the thing with Instagram is a little interesting, and even I know I've been slacking on Instagram. I definitely need to get back on there and post more clips and do more stuff on there and kind of add some more footprint to it. But man, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram on the Couch Coach Live. Also check out the podcast anywhere you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, on the Couch Coach Live. Also watch the football guys every Friday night, 8:00 Eastern Standard Time. Then we do the Watch the Football Guys post-game show after the Watch the Football games. And we got Overreaction Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then See You Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays, NFL pregame show that we have. So, man, once again, another great show. And, this is, let's close out Earth, Wind, and Fire Day. Yes, it's we did the podcast on the 21st night of September. So we always remember the 21st night of September because we was here on Couch Coach Live, talking some NFL. But man, so most definitely. So once again, great show, and we will catch you guys next week on Couch Coach Live.